So last weekend we drove up to Lubbock and we came through an area of La Mesa, which is a lot of farmland around it. Some pretty epic skies with the clouds and sun rays coming through, lots of flowers. And I wanted to try to come back this weekend and see if I can get any of that photographed. But unfortunately today, not unfortunately, it's a nice beautiful day, but it's very blue skies, very few clouds in the sky. And we're not getting that moodiness that I was looking for in the photographs with some of these yellow sunflowers, yellow little wildflowers that you see behind me here. And my wife Sarah caught a image through the window on her phone, which you can see here, of that kind of scene with the clouds and the sun rays coming through with these yellow wildflowers on the ground. So I wanted to come back and try to duplicate that, but unfortunately, we got out here a little probably too late, and I think the clouds burned off really early. Thought today would be a good day to test out the 24-105 on the A7R2 and see what we can do using a zoom lens like this and the different shots you can get having the zoom capabilities. A few of the things I definitely wanted to try to get today was an old house, like abandoned house, and some wildflowers. We have plenty of both around this area. So right here we had a little bit of a pull off. We can see we have lots of little yellow wildflowers out here, and I want to go ahead and try to get some of those photographed right now, see what we get. So that's the plan, so let's get shooting. All right, so we're going to do our test on this flower right here. This is going to be our F4, F8, F11 test on the at 105 to kind of test our macro capabilities of the 24-105. So right now, let's set the camera to F4. And the lens element's probably about a foot away from this flower right now. There's there's F8. Let me brighten up the exposure now. Okay, and then let's go to F11. I'm going to go down about 1/100th of a second right there. So you can see the different depths we're getting in the flowers behind. Sorry, I had to smack a mosquito. All right, let's take some pictures and we'll call it good. So one of the bad things about being out here is, even though this is a very unpopulated road, it's a very noisy road. And we do got sand trucks, which is the trucks hauling sand for frac operations out here on this highway. I've already had a couple pass me while I was setting up. So it's definitely getting noisy at that point, but it's actually really pleasant and quiet out here otherwise. I mean, you get the birds chirping and, just a nice breeze today. I mean, it's actually really, really nice out. So let's see what we can get just capturing this. All right, so let's just look at different compositions on the house here, and using the 24-105 from the road, what can we actually capture with it? So as you can see, I'm going to just record what the camera's seeing here for a minute. We've got a couple at 24 millimeters. We've got a couple different compositions. Kind of like this dead tree that's laying over here on the left, and then the house on the right, kind of in the middle center. Let's move that down just a little bit. So I think I'm liking that composition right there. And then if you just look straight at the house, you know, we have a whole bunch of dead space and dead ground to the right of it. And then we've got the trees, you know, to the left. So I think this right here looks like a really good composition. Now it looks like there's no power lines in this image, even though they're right above me. We've got power lines, you know, we're right by a big pole here with power lines running down the road, but we are clear of all that. So that's always a win to me out here, because there's always power lines. And we do have power lines running to the right here, which you can barely see in this camera shot, but there's the main pole, and then it runs down this road that's like an access road here. So we're gonna go ahead and run this composition, I think. Now over here in the far left, way right there, looks like a power line, but it's actually some sort of rigging device. Let me zoom in on it here. We've got some old equipment there. So we've got that, we've got the tree, a couple nice grown trees in the middle there, and it's all overgrown. And then we've got these nice tall trees in front of this old stone house. So let's go ahead and back off and put it back in photo mode. Let's set up our composition here. I think this is what I want. Now shooting f4, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot this at like f8. So let's bring down, you can see our exposure darkens out. Let's open up our shutter speed now. And let's shoot at about 1.3 overexposed is what we're gonna set this up as. And just to verify our composition, this is how we're gonna want it. We've got everything, camera's leveled out on our level gauge. The house is off to the right and looks good. I think our horizon's straight. That's the very key element. Make sure your horizon line is straight there. And I've got it in timer mode. So we're just gonna do a 2-second timer on this. So I'm not touching the camera. Okay, so now what I want to check is just make sure that we have a nice sharp image. So let's go back and look at play, and let's zoom in on the house details and see if everything is in nice sharp detail. It looks like we are nice and sharp. All right, so let's go ahead and set the timer. Now I do that timer because I don't want to induce any motion to the camera in this setup. When you push the shutter button, you could essentially move the camera. Now if you're shooting fast enough shutter speeds, it's not going to be a problem, but that's one of the good reasons to use that feature on a 2-second timer on a tripod like this. If it's nighttime or really windy or you're really unstable, you want to move it up to like a 5-second shutter. All right, so the next thing we want to do is let's focus in on the house. All right, so we're at 24 millimeters there on the house. Let's go ahead and see what it would take to get the house in a full frame image with the trees and everything. So we're going to be sitting, this is 50 millimeter right here, and 70 millimeter would actually work and get the house in frame with the trees. We got some clouds in the sky, kind of looking pretty cool right there. So let's go ahead and try this. So let's set it, see if we get it right. Dead center on the 70. All right, so there we go. Now that's in video. We're gonna widen this up a little bit when we go back to full frame. So we're gonna stop the recording. Photo mode, let's shoot f8. And let's bring our shutter down to 1/400th of a second, brings us at their 1.3 exposure. All right, and we got a truck coming, so I'm gonna hurry up and take this shot. All right, so that's f8. Let's go ahead and try an f4 again. Well, again, we're going to boost our shutter to 1/1600th. Alright guys, if you made it this far to the end of the video, I appreciate you watching to the end. If you like this video, go down, hit that like button for me. It's amazing how much that helps us creators when you do that. And if you haven't subscribed already and you want to see more content like this, or content about Sony camera equipment, or just just like hanging out with me, go ahead and subscribe down below. Love to have you on board this community. If you want to give Luminar Neo a try, go ahead and check out that link in the description below. You'll get 7 free days, and if you decide to purchase Luminar Neo on an annual pass, you can use code Malcolm Walker at checkout and save 10%. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Talk to you then.